Hello, my name is Reyn Nishii, and the purpose of this video is to discuss over PowerPoint my professional business analytical report. The topic of my business analytical report has to do with how the VA and state educational institutions can reform policy in order to help veterans. I myself am a U.S. Navy veteran. I've served faithfully for 14 and a half years. I've just been medically discharged in May of this year. So I am pursuing my business administration degree at Miramar College for transfer to SDSU. So you might ask yourself, why is this important? So if you scroll to slide number 1, we're going to be talking about why it's important. So the purpose of this presentation is to inform the general public and people who might not understand how the GI Bill works or the hurdles that veterans face while using their educational benefits. First off, I'd like to mention that some of the terms that I'll be using may be unfamiliar to you all. So if you go ahead and reference my analytical report, I go ahead and define those terms. Also, all of my references in the paper are discussed at the end of the paper in the reference section. So if you slide to slide number 2, I'm going to be discussing the issues that veterans face. So the main reason for this report was, as I was pursuing classes using my GI Bill, I was having a hard time finding in-person classes. Now, the reason why this is important is because veterans need at least one in-person class to qualify for the resident rate. We're going to be talking about the difference in resident rate and the online rate. Now we're going to move on to slide number 3. We're going to talk about the VA Remote Act of 2021. Now the VA Remote Act stands for the Remote Education Mitigating Options and Technical Extensions. Now, this was implemented in December 21st of 2021 by U.S. Congress, Joe Biden, for veterans encountering the unavailability of in-person classes due to the impacts of COVID-19. Essentially, what it did was it gave all online students using the GI Bill the resident rate of subsistence, which we're going to see is very significant. Let's move on to the next slide. Here, in this slide, we can see the resident rates versus online only rates. I'm going to give you a few seconds just to review that over. So on the left side of the screen, we have the resident rates. And on the right side of the screen, we have the online only. Now, I did this for Miramar College for our zip code 92126 for a student and plus 2 dependents, assuming that a student may either have a spouse or a significant other, as well as another person, such as a child. So now that we've reviewed these 2 graphs, we can understand that resident rates at full time, meaning 12 credits during a normal semester, is $2,871. Now, if we compare that to the right side, for students who are using online only without in-person classes, that full-time rate is $980.49. So we're going to talk about the differences there. In case you haven't seen, $2,871 is a whole lot more than $980.49. The difference actually is $1,890.51. Now, I don't know about you all, but living here in San Diego is very expensive. Money is hard to come by, especially as a full-time student. Time is precious, money is precious. So this topic really weighs heavy on me because I want to advocate for veterans and I want to make it so people are aware that these issues that we face. Moving on to the next slide. The difference is the money itself. Online classes are done online only, and in-person classes you at least need one in-person class. Now, during this presentation, we discussed the differences between online and in-person, and the VA Remote Act of 2021 was what I believe is a great solution and should be re-implemented. It was between the dates of December 21st, 2021 to June 1st, 2022. So I wasn't able to use this benefit. I believe that this PowerPoint and this presentation, along with my professional analytical business report, brought about a lot of awareness to those who are not veterans. And hopefully these statistics illustrate how both the state side as well as the VA side can look out for our veterans. One of my recommendations, if you look at our 3 recommendations, is for physical places of institutions such as Miramar College to have a minimum quota of classes offered in person. So what this means is for Miramar College, for each class offered, they at least have 1 in-person class. Now, as an alternative, let's say Miramar College cannot offer in-person classes for, let's say, Business 119. So what would happen is another college within the county, such as Mesa or City, can offer that class on behalf. So let's say Mesa and Miramar could not offer Business 119, therefore City College could offer 3 in-class offerings of that class. That's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is for the Department of VA to go ahead and re-implement that Remote Act of 2021. Now, what that did was it gave students the resident rate for online classes. Now, I prefer in-person classes just the way I learn. And I believe that just offering those in-person classes will help students who are like myself, whether they're a veteran or not, that at least they'll be offered a way to be taught in person in a traditional setting. And lastly, my third recommendation is a combination of both recommendations. So I believe that this will have the most support and impact of veterans, as well as students preferring the traditional in-person classes. Let's move on to the next slide. We're going to be talking about next steps. So again, my presentation had to do with supporting veterans, but let's take this to the next level. What we learned from this presentation is that we can advocate for others. Whether these policies affect you or not, it's good to look out for others who you may see a situation where it could implement change. Our next step is that we can pursue excellence in our own personal educational goals and have a firm awareness of the obstacles that fellow students face. So if we know that students of a different population may face a different issue, we can advocate for them. Another point is that we can support others even when it may be inconvenient for us. And last of all is just having empathy for humankind. You know, we all are human and we all want to just get through this life. So just looking out for one another and doing our best. I want to thank you for your support. My name is Reyn Nishii. I'm a business major for transfer at SDSU, and I want to say thank you for your time and thank you for your support. Have a great day. Thank you.